And my name is David, and welcome back to another Alex's Board Game Stand, where we review kids' board games. And what game do we have on to review today, kiddo? What's this called? Spookies. And this is a game about a haunted house, and if you know, if you watched the last review of Rocks by Haba, you know that they're doing a jump into the family realm of games, because normally Haba does kids games with simple rules but really good components. Now Rocks was a pretty good game, and I think did a good job in getting into the family realm, but it was pretty simple because it was just cards. I was really excited to see this game here because the components are fantastic. I want to say that out right now, but it's no surprise because Haba always does a good job there. And again, they took the yellow box and did away with it because they want these family games to be different from the kids games, so you know them right off the bat that these are going to scale for kids, but they're also going to be really entertaining for adults most of the time. That's, well, at least what Haba's going for. And Spookies is all about pressing your luck. Think, can't stop. It's a bit reminiscent there in the fact that you can keep taking these dice and rolling them if you want to continue your turn. But that's where it stops. This is a game all on its own. It has the press your luck aspect of the dice, but it does it in a really unique way and keeps it simple for kids and, again, entertaining for adults. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let me show you the components that come in Spookies, and then we'll show you how to play. Ooh. Let's go. Alright, in the game of Spookies, there's not an overload of components, but these components are just perfect. The cardboard is thick, the graphic art design on the board is beautiful, and the dice are chunky, and I don't know if you can actually tell, but they're kind of sparkly. They have gold kind of metallic print, a brass metallic print, a blue metallic, and then a silver metallic. And on this dice here, they have just the painted faces, and then look at that sparkly question mark. There's no need to do that, but I actually like it. If you're gonna make a dice game that really revolves around the dice, why not make the dice appealing? Because you're gonna be interacting with them a lot. So those are the dice and the nice cardboard board, and then you got the cardboard spooky tokens. They range from 1, 2, 3, and 5. There's no 4, and there are more 1s than there are 5s, of course. And then you have the always nicely done wooden components here, painted art front and back on each one of the kids, and even the blue dog here. The dog is so cute. So those are all the components. Now let's show you how to play the game. So here's the game of Spooky setup, and like I said, the theme of the game, you have the kids that are going into this haunted house trying to get points, but maybe the points are associated with them trying to face their fears and who can do it the best. So on your turn, you're not necessarily going to pick one of these kids as a character throughout the game. You're going to decide that by rolling this dice here. Now, the aim of the game is to win with the most spooky points at the end, and how you accumulate these spooky points is associated with the numbers on the side here. So on your turn, after you have decided who you're going to be moving, in this case we're going to be moving the cool dog, each of the characters start in the graveyard here, and now I have a option of rolling up to four dice if I want to. Now, I don't know if you can see it, it's up top here. There are 2 dice, 3 dice, and 4 dice emblems here, and there's a graph going down all the way to the bottom for each one. Now, it goes for the numbers on the side here. Now, when you're trying to roll and move ahead, you have to at least meet the number or exceed it. So when we are rolling dice, we got to get a combined number of 2 dice when we roll them to beat a 5, or at least equal it to move on. Now, if we choose to pick just to roll 2 dice and we make this number, we're going to get one of these spooky tokens, and that's how you accumulate spooky tokens. You just put them in front of you off to the side because you might lose them, who knows. But if you choose to roll 3 to 4 dice, you're not going to gain any spooky tokens, but you're going to continue on your turn and move up here. So let's just say we're going to roll 2 to try to get some spooky tokens. And right there, we have rolled a 7. Easily made it into the 5 rank and got ourselves one of these spooky tokens. You can choose any one you want, and we'll put it off to the side right there. Now we can choose to stop and take our spooky tokens and put them in our score pile, or we can continue to go. Now, the next step here with the dog, because that's who we stay with this whole turn, is 6. Now we can do 2 dice again, or 3 dice, or 4 dice and not get any chips, but let's play it safe and roll 3 dice. So when you roll multiple over 2, you're only going to take the amount from 2 dice, the highest amount, of course. And this one is 10, so the dog easily moves on. And in the case of rolling 3 dice and moving on, we get 1 spooky. So we have 2, and we continue to go on if we want, but we have to meet a 7. But let's chance our luck and just roll two dice, because we're gonna get 3 if we move on. Now we have gotten 10. This guy will move up. Let's keep going with 2 dice. Why not? And we've only rolled a 7. So in this case, we would just stop our turn immediately. If you ever fail to meet your quota of numbers, your turn ends, and if you meet the floor that you're in, you're just gonna stay on that floor and the turn will pass. But let's say he got a 5. He would actually have to pay the amount of spookies, the difference of the number that he's on. So he's going to have to go down 2 levels, because you always got to go down to the level that you roll. If it's a 4, you'll just go down to the graveyard here, and you only have to pay the difference on the amount of up to 4. But we're moving down 5. We only have 2 spookies, so we'll put them right here. That's where they go. Now, if any other player or even yourself is able to get to this floor with just using 2 dice, they will take these extra spookies in addition to gaining the ones that they've already got, we're going to get with moving up. So that's how you can claim spookies that are left behind. I didn't grab my 3 spookies for actually moving up to 7, so I would actually take 3 of these spooky tokens and put them in front of me as my score, but I did relinquish the 2 here. So that's what will happen on a turn if you do not succeed, or if you want to stop, or so forth and so on. You'll continue to do this process, and if the dog is ever rolled, or any other character that is already in the house, they're going to have to continue from the spot that they're on. So they're going to have to go for 8. So that's how the kids move back and forth, up and down through the haunted house. The only thing that I do want to add is, if you are on the top of the roof here, you have to roll a 12, and you'll get whatever's indicated on this 11 track here. So if you roll with 4 dice, you're going to get 3 tokens. But if you roll for, the 2 dice and get 12, you're going to get 16 spooky tokens. That's insane. But if you ever fail on the roof, you immediately go back down to the 4th level and up beyond the gate here. So that's the only kind of exception in the game with moving back. And you'll continue this process, choosing what dice you want to roll, moving these kids through the haunted house, gaining spookies until all the spookies have been claimed or are on the board. Whenever the stockpile runs out, you will immediately in the game flip over your spooky tokens, because not even you can look at them. I failed to mention that. And then you'll find out who the winner is. And in this case, on this, my player has won 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, 16 points with the spookies. And if anyone else can beat that, they will be the best spooky at the table. So that is Spookies in its entirety. Very simple, but very intuitive, and I would have to say pretty darn fun. So before I get ahead of myself, let's tell you what we think about this game and give it a grade. So as we always do on Alex's Board Game Stand, we're going to be giving the game a grade as follows. A check minus just being a spooktacularly stinky game, a check being an okay to pretty good game, and a check plus being a spooktacular great game that you need to go out and get for yourself. With that being said, what are you giving this game? A check plus. Why do you like Spooky so much? What's your favorite thing about this game? The dog, yes, we know the dog's so cute, but do you like actually playing the game? Like rolling and going through the spooky house? Yeah. Is it scary? No. No, it's not really scary. It's a kind of a humorous take on the haunted house aspect, and it does translate well from a kid's point of view and a adult's point of view. Look, Haba cares about its components, and it shows almost every time. There are very few exceptions in this rule for Haba games, at least. I would be hard pressed to think of one, but every time I get a Haba game, I know that they're going to take care of the components, and it's going to immerse me. So I would have to agree with your check plus, but I'm going even one step further. My grade, of course, is going to be a check plus as well, and this game is on the fast track to being one of my favorite, if not my favorite Haba games of all time. Now, I don't want to spoil it because me and the kids gonna be making a Haba list, the top 5 here soon, but you might want to look out for this one being on that list. Now understand, this is a game that really appeals to me. I love pressing my luck. I love rolling the dice, and I love great art and components. So it really was, like I say, it said, tailored to how I like to experience my games. So that might have a little bias to it, but everyone I've played this game with, they want to play it again. So that's, I know I've said that in other videos, but that is a really good sign of a well-designed game. And the only downfall I have for this game, and it's a minor quibble, is there are turns that you might get where you're just rolling and you're going to bust on the first roll, and that might happen consecutive times. But the game is fast, and the turns are pretty fast too, so you get over that. And sometimes you're just going to have a spectacular turn, and it's really going to invigorate you, and that's what keeps me coming back to Spookies. The other thing is there are 5s in the game for the spooky tokens, and they're pretty powerful. So everything is random. Again, this game is extremely random, but in the best way possible. So the 5s, if you get one, could win you the game. You can take those out if you want to, or if you want to leave them in for kids and make it more of an accessible game. That's a good thing, I think, why Haba left those in. So to sum up, we both gave this game a check plus. We love the way that it looks, we love the way that it plays, and Haba, it doesn't surprise me that they made a well-built family game. I just didn't think that I would like it as much as I do. So hooray for Haba for doing a good job. Thank you so much for watching today's Alex's Board Game Stand, and until the next time that we see it, please like and subscribe, by the way. I've been Dave. And have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. You're right here on the Game Finder. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Bye.